Welcome to the Pouring Old Man podcast. My name is Russell. I'm one of your hosts. Alongside me is Mr. Anthony Barrel-Aged Pitt. Welcome, Pitty.
Thanks, mate. How are you?
I am pretty good. This is, of course, the inaugural episode of the Pouring Old Man podcast. Should we tell the people what we hope to do here today?
I suppose, yeah. Let's have a bit of a chat about it. I guess from my point of view, we wanted to bring something that was just simple. We know a lot of people out there are keen on craft beer. We don't want to be one of those wankers out there, the beer snobs. So try to just keep it simple, let people know stuff that's good.
I see myself as a beer fan. I'm a long-term fan, big advocate of it, and I love the work that the beer does in general. So, yes, I like drinking beer, consuming beer, and basically educating myself a bit about beer as well. Probably before the start of this year, I thought DDH was some fancy wrestling move in the WWE. Turns out it is a hopping technique. Who knew? So, looking at beers, what sort of beers do you like there, Mr. Pitt?
Yep, probably lean towards the sours. It's probably one that I jump on fairly often, particularly in the warm weather up here in Queensland. It really hits the spot, but also a fan of the juicy hazies, and the nitro stouts is a nice little soft spot in the warm or the cooler weather, actually.
For me, I love a big taste. I like a big stout. I like a big roguish dark beer. Plus, I like the full-on IPAs and double IPAs, and anything that is quite robust in flavour is what I look for. Not a big sour person myself, but I do dabble occasionally anyway. So, looking at breweries, do you have any breweries that you look for? Any favourites around town?
Yeah, definitely. Ballistic's always a good one. Nice and close to where we are. Also a big fan of Black Ops. That was probably the original one for me. Probably sparked the interest in craft beer. Yourself?
For myself, Ballistic, probably my favourite local one, mainly because they have a brewery near where I live, which is very handy. One of the few breweries within a decent drive for me. Again, Black Ops is one that I've followed quite closely over the past few years. They're doing some really good stuff there. And lately, I've actually been getting into a lot of Revel, which we'll talk about probably later anyway. They seem to be pulling out some great little numbers of the limited range. So that's about all for me.
Excellent. Well, do we want to crack the beers?
Let's crack in. This is what we like to call show and tell, where we both bring a beer to the class to share with everyone being just ourselves.
So, I have brought a very interesting one today. It is from Rogue. It is Combat Wombat. Obviously, the main thing that drew me to this one was the artwork. We'll pop that up on our socials as well. It is pretty funky. The other thing is, it's a sour. That was a really keen thing for me, so let's have a crack on that one.
So what's this one say? So, sour northeast style hazy India pale ale with Australian hops, blood orange and grapefruit, it says on the can. So straight away, I'll just say, when I see sour hazy IPA, it sounds like a winning term from a marketing department. Let's find the terms around the beer world that are trendy at the moment, and that would be sour, hazy, and IPA, and just whack it on a can. Let's see how it goes. It also helps, it's got a cartoon wombat on there as well.
Throw juicy in there, and you've got the absolute winner.
That's right.
For me. Now, from the brewer, they do say it is quite tart, grapefruit and blood orange, with a light hop profile, which will be interesting, and a tangy finish. It is 6.7%. So, a decent strength.
Pour's very heady. I see you've got about 3 inches of head there. Me, I gave a bit of a shit pour. I got about 7 inches of head floating out the top of my glass here. I just had a quick sip there so I don't mess up Anthony's tablecloth. So
it's actually a little bit darker in colour than I'd first expected. It is a real sort of that.
It's a real sort of amber kind of hazy kind of colour there, isn't it?
Yeah. It smells very fruity and actually quite. You can almost smell the tart.
I'm not going to be able to smell this without getting a nose full of froth. I look like Santa Claus at the end of this, I'll tell you. Well, the froth is lovely.
I can taste that. You can taste the blood orange straight away.
Yeah, it's almost like a grapefruity kind of, lemony kind of flavour that's coming through on that one. It's very fleshy. I don't know if that's a proper descriptor, but it smells very fleshy. Grapefruit flesh, not human flesh. Let's just be clear about that. We're a beer podcast. We're not into cannibalism. That might come to episode 100 if we get there.
Probably not as tart as I was expecting from the information on the label. I think the blood orange for me is the defining sort of flavour.
See, I'll admit, I don't think I've ever actually eaten a blood orange. I've eaten grapefruit, so that's probably why I'm thinking grapefruit flavours in that one. But
honestly, I actually haven't eaten a blood orange either. However, I've drunk enough blood orange flavoured stuff or had enough blood orange lollies that I'm assuming that's the taste that it is. Mouthfeel it's actually quite light.
Now, where is Rogue Brewing? So, dedicated to our friends down under. Is this Australian? Is this an overseas? I'm not actually sure.
Rogue Ales, is that Newport?
USA. There we go.
Yeah, that's unusual for me not to get an Australian beer.
You were thrown off by the Wombat. See, I told you. It's the marketing department. They threw sour, hazy, IPA, threw a cartoon Wombat on it, and you fell for it, hook, line, sinker.
100%.
Now, I will point out, this comes in a whopping big... I don't know. What Americans measure these in? Is this a pint can?
I'd say so. What would you say, 440 mil?
Yeah, I'd say almost a 500 ml can. Or as Americans would probably call it, a half gallon or something like that.
Yeah. Apparently you're supposed to pair it with fried cheese curds, garlic shrimp, or baklava.
Now, I've never been to the States, but I'm pretty sure they pair everything with fried cheese anyway. So I think that's just a general tasting on anything American.
Yeah. Baklava is an interesting one. I would have thought the sweetness of that would be a little overpowering.
Yeah, going for the sweet and sour, I suppose, but it's where that they specified baklava is not.
It's not a beer drinking food, but
let me just go to the pantry and grab us some baklava.
So that's where they've got me. Australian hops. That's why it's a combat wombat.
That is why it's a combat wombat.
It's a solid beer, I would say. It doesn't have a defining wow factor to it. It's smooth, it's drinkable, but it's not. I wouldn't be going back for another one.
Yeah, very sour. Probably it's. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth with these sort of things, and so something that this sort of tart is.
It's interesting because being a sour person, I find this quite light in the tart sense, especially after previous week having Hope's Sunny Boy Sour.
Yes.
If you want something that will pucker everything, that is the sour beer to have.
And to contradict myself, I did polish off one of those cans of the Samboy Salt and Vinegar Sour from the GABS pack that I picked up the other weekend. Now, that is some sourness going on there.
What did you think of that? Because I've seen hit and miss.
I haven't seen too much hit for that one. I've seen a lot of miss.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint-hearted. And general consensus, and for my consensus, is they nailed the brief.
Yep.
It is a salt and vinegar sour, and so the warning is there on the can, and it tastes like salt and vinegar chips. And to be honest, it's what's that line from Jurassic Park? They spent so much time wondering if they could. They didn't think about whether they should.
Yep.
Yes. It's one of those situations, I think, and yes, they nailed salt and chip flavour, but then after taking my first sip of that one, I was like, did I really want a salt and vinegar beer?
No, salt and vinegar chips are great. They make you thirsty. And just another excuse to drink more beer, but yeah, whether I want it in my beer is another question. It's solid. It's hard to give it a good rating. My view would be sort of around that. If I was to give it a rating out of 10, around that sort of 6 mark, where it's drinkable, it's enjoyable, but it's not memorable.
I'll start with the middle of the pack. I'll give it a 5 if we are doing the rankings for that one. Give it a 5 out of 10.
Now, Ross, do you want to give us a little bit of news from the past week?
Right, let's see what we've got here for the news. First of all, start off with a big happy birthday. Brendale Brewing turned 4 on the weekend. They had a couple of limited releases there, so happy birthday to the guys up at Brendale. Have you had many of their brews?
I've had a couple of their limited release ones. They're always a good solid.
They do a cracking, I think it's a double IPA that they do. It's absolute ripper. It's one of those sneaky ones that high in alcohol, but sneaks up and gives you a little crack on the chin when you drink it.
I do love one of those where you smash it back and then go, why do I feel a little bit tipsy after that one?
Yeah, definitely one of them. What else have we had of theirs? I think they do a good, I can't remember if it's a porter or a stout, but yeah, good local brewery up on the north side there. North side have got some really good breweries up there at the moment. I'm a bit jealous living on the south side as I do.
Yes, any brewers out there want to move down to the south side, or any good halfway decent bottle shops that want to move south, particularly on the western side?
Yeah. They just need to overtake all the These empty Masters building supply stores around the place, like perfect.
100%.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You set up about 5 breweries, and each one of them would be great. There's one in Springfield where I am, so there you go. Could be craft fair central with those. No one's doing anything with it anyway. All right, next up on the news, what have we got here? We had the Can Art Awards announced. This is going back a couple of weeks ago. Did you catch the winner of that one there, Pity?
I did. Funnily enough, I thought it was solid, but I think I've seen better throughout the year.
I'll tell you my issue with this whole competition. Now, there's some great can art there in the top 10. There's some good can art there.
Yep.
Did you vote in this?
I did not.
Yes. Do you know how many nominees there were up for voting in this? There were 120 nominees for this.
The problem I have with GABS in their countdowns, full stop, is the popular vote, not necessarily the best wins the competition. Yeah,
with this one was top 10 for the popular vote went into a judging panel, and then judges picked the top 10. My issue was if you have any competition where you got to vote between 120 different options, it's a bit crowded. And by the time I got to the number 120th nominee, I couldn't remember what the first 110 were. So for those who don't know, the top one was Face Inverted by Little Bang Brewing, which is the can is magenta and yellow and bright, and it catches your eyes. It's fine. I don't know whether it's the best of the 120 nominees, but yeah, it's fine.
It's solid.
Second was The Futures Are Bright, which looks like something thrown together by a 5-year-old in preschool, if you ask me. But hey, I'm not on judging panel.
That's it. You know what I was surprised I didn't see in the top 10 was Newstead Brewing when they did their art series. They had some really good stuff out there. And again,
was the one that started there, the Sour Mouth, was a good one of theirs as well.
The other one, guys that I do notice have a lot of good Can Arts Garage Project. They do have some fun stuff.
But they held back with the fact they're not Australian.
True.
Don't be trying to claim another New Zealand icon there. Thank you very much.
Well, again, they're good, so we'll claim them as Australian.
Third on the list for the can art was You're on Move by Fixation Brewing, which is just looked like a political cartoon on the can. Doesn't really do it for me.
I did like the hop head though, where the face is a hop.
That's true. Very Donald Trumpy looking.
Thought that was quite clever. But if you scroll down to, actually, funnily enough, the Unbridled Unicorn, I thought was really clean and sharp.
I wasn't a fan. I dig their logo, their logo though. But yeah, the can it's fine. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I like the clean and sharp. Bolter and Ballistic are another example of that.
This is true. Watermelon from Ballistic Bear. I'll admit, this is the one I actually voted for in the comp because I couldn't choose one, and so I went for my local favourites. It's good. I'll probably also voted the fact that it's called Watermelon. I love a good beer pun, and that's up there for the Watermelon Gosa. Down the list we got Grassy Nut.
This is one I quite like for some reason.
This is my least favourite of the top 10.
It's weird because I like the classy, and I like the fact that I could picture myself sitting there drinking that beer, and the fact that it's called Valley Lager. It feels like the picture sort of reflects the beer.
I'll be honest, I think it's boring as hell. I think the can looks like it's when you go to your grandma's home and they have a painting on the wall behind of some random valley scene.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
We've all seen one of those.
And I saw the other, how is that in the top 10? So,
which is funny. I just like the cleanness and the reflection that seems to, I don't know, give you a reflection of what the beer's going to taste like.
Yes, we're on opposite side of the fence. I think that one's just boring as batshit, but hey, that's just me. Moon Dancer from Black Ops. This is a decent effort.
See, I like it, but I thought it was one of their more boring cans.
Yeah, it's not shown on this side here, but there is the little hophead character on the side, which I think the can would be better off without it. I don't think the hophead character deserves a bit to be on there. It's fine, nothing special. Tell you what, the Combat Wombat, it's doing some damage to it. I'm taking it down to a 4 at the moment. Too much grapefruit there at the moment. Might throw a sugar cube in there or something. Next up on the list for the can art was Tropical XPA by Ocean Reach Brewing. Now this one looks like a Hawaiian shirt you pick up from Lowe's for about $15.
Yeah, it looked a bit crowded, a little bit boring, a little bit overdone.
Yeah. Dirty Biggie by Feral. I think this one's a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Again, I'm not a fan of their standard one, and I thought it was pretty rubbish that it was in there
I will say though, I love this beer. This beer is fantastic.
That's the problem. Is the beer's fine.
Yep.
But the actual can art, I think, is pretty ordinary.
Yeah, I think that's a bit crap. Now, this is my favourite.
This is a cracking.
This is my favourite. The Affinity by Black Flag Brewing. It is. It's bright, it's colourful. You put that in any bottle shop beer fridge, and that stands out a mile away.
Draw your attention. It looks like a tattoo.
Yep.
I'm sure the can's been designed by a tattoo
just
artist.
there's a hop in the middle of his head as well. I didn't actually pick that up.
But yeah, it's a cracking like dragon with a hop jewel in the middle of its face.
Yeah. I think these guys are robbed. I think that's by far and away one of the best piece of can art I've seen, and definitely the best in the top 10. But it's certainly better than the one Pity likes, the grandma's painting on the wall.
You're struggling with that first one, aren't you, mate?
Yeah. Well, you finished yours already, haven't you? Bloody hell. I'll soldier on.
Funnily enough, I will actually drop this one to a 5 as well.
Oh. I think all the sourness has dropped to the bottom of the glass.
See, for me, it's actually not sour enough, but the blood orange just... It's all I'm getting, all the aftertaste I get as well, which I'm not a big fan of.
One other piece of news I'd like to bring up is craftypint.com, which is craft beer news website, has their 10th birthday at the moment. And a big happy birthday to there. But it's well worth checking out the website of them. They've got a couple of great articles there about the last 10 years of craft beer in Australia. There's one that tracks, they got one there. They also do great infographics for the Hottest 100. They've got infographic there for the last 10 years of breweries and the changing hands of Australian breweries and how things have moved on. And the one bit of information that I loved was in 2010, Petty.
Yes.
Guess how many craft beer breweries there were in Queensland?
I would suggest there'd be 1.
There were 9. So
there you go.
9 craft breweries in 10 years ago. It just shows how much the Queensland and the Brisbane scene just exploded in the last couple of years. There were 137 around Australia total, whereas now in 2020 there's well over 600.
Fair enough. I don't know about you, but was having a bit of a remember back when I was much younger, and craft beer was like when you got a Crownie or an overseas sort of, you got Heineken or something like that. That was like flashing.
I remember my first job in Brisbane was working at the casino with yourself.
Yep.
And there's a big deal made and a big hullabaloo, the fact that they got Carlton Draft on tap. It's the first time Carlton Draft had been on tap outside of Victoria, apparently, and everyone went bananas for it.
100%.
And can you find Carlton Draft on tap around the place these days? No.
Well, what about the deal when Tui's Extra Dry came out?
Oh, I was excited for that one. We had a Christmas party. We stole a keg of it and had a Christmas party with that. There's that, and Heineken came out about the same time on tap. It was fantastic.
You didn't steal, you borrowed.
It was donated by the good folks at Lion Nathan. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
But anyway, so Crafty Pint, 10-year birthday. They've got a whole bunch of articles for the last 10 years. It's well worth the site. There's a great website to grab all your news and what's going on around the place. So shouts out to them.
Now, I'm looking at you, mate, and I don't think you're going to get through that one.
Yeah, that's
Hang on.
Got a glass of water there.
Oh, while he does that, I thought I'd bring up about Father's Day. So that's been the previous weekend.
I need a glass of water after finishing that one.
I wanted to talk about some of the Father's Day gift packs.
Yes.
Wow.
I've made some notes about this.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts before I give my grumpy.
Yeah. Well, this is the thought pattern I had. I was going to do the whole list of look at all the great Father's Day packs around there, and there wasn't really that many.
No, I thought they were really ordinary. My first sort of thought was it was either a cheap hat, t-shirt, something like that, thrown in with, say, 4, 6. I think the most I saw was 8 beers.
There was one, actually, funnily enough, Range Brewing had 12 of their 440ml cans of their core range, which sounds good in theory, except that there was $110.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's still...
Core range too. if they had gone 4 or 8 core range and then 4 limited release, I think that'd be more enjoyable.
The thing that makes me laugh, though, of course, it is range brewing, though, that sold out within a day.
There you go. So there you go. And I guess we're in that other half.
My favourite one,
yes.
Actually, one that made me laugh as well. Sea Legs Brewing did. It was all right.
Was theirs the jerky or the barbecue?
There was the barbecue stuff from Barbecue Mafia, the Rad Dad pack, which points to the name.
Yep.
Now, see if you can spot something that's weird about this. You get the Raglan baseball tee, which look quite nice.
Yep.
Not all right for a man of generous girth like myself, but I'll give it to one of the kids.
A beer drinker.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a beer drinker's body. I'll admit that. Barbecue Mafia barbecue sauce, Barbecue Mafia dry rub, sea leg stubby cooler, and a bottle opener keyring. What is the problem with that there?
I see a lot of things wrong with that.
Have you ever seen Sea Legs Brewing release anything in a bottle?
Well, that is true.
That is my problem with it. Why? I know it's a minor detail, but it's an oversight for me.
Maybe they've got a special edition coming out.
No, I doubt it.
I'd love it if Sea Legs reach out to us and tell us if they've got something.
Show us their bottle range so I can use the Sea Legs bottle opener on it. That'd be fantastic.
Have they got like an Imperial Stout barrel aged bourbon something or other that they're hiding from us?
I think the best Father's Day pack I saw though was from Semi Pro Brewing. They were quite smart. They're only a small brewery over in Wollongabba. They had a Father's Day pack, 8 beer tasting fly. So first of all, they're smart. They're making you go into the brewery, get 8 beers there.
Yes, I like.
Get a t-shirt, get a tote bag, branded glass, and a brewery tour. Great. There's a day up there, and there's more.
Okay. I'm intrigued now.
So am I, but they don't say what the more was. It just says "and more." Okay. So hey, you get the mystery price with that as well. So I thought that was a good one.
I do like the branded glass as the little additional extra, because I think that's a cracking little gift.
I thought that would be a good one. That'd be a good day out there.
Yeah.
The other one I liked, the value I might question, but is Ballistic Brewing, which was their coup de grace Russian Imperial Stout.
Yes, which you're a massive fan of.
I do like that, and you get a fancy beer glass with that. Now, the downside is you get one beer and a glass, which seems a bit, piss poor, but it's a great beer. I do love that beer. So I'm torn whether that's a good deal or not. I nearly brought that for myself, but yeah.
You know what I'd love some of these little breweries to do? Throw in just a ride. So pick up, drop off.
A free Uber.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, give me the trip, get me in there. I'm happy to spend some money whilst I'm there.
Yeah, which is good in theory until you get someone like me that lives in Springfield. So me getting an Uber to one of the good breweries in the city, that's going to cost me a packet.
No. Set a range as far as distance goes.
Oh, you're going to leave me out of this now?
Well, you've got Ballistic in Springfield, so
I can walk there. Oh. No, I can't walk there. Yeah. And I had to give a Razzie award out for the Father's Day pack. Your Mates Brewing up on the Sunny Coast.
Yeah.
They do good beer. Don't get me wrong. I like their Larry. I like their Sally and the Donny. I keep wanting to call it Donny Darko beer, but Donny Dark beer. Quite good. But there's Father's Day pack, honestly. You get 4 pack of Larry Pale. Fine, but I'd rather a bit of variety, a mixed pack or something,
Yep.
Stubby holder, boring. Air freshener?
Air freshener.
Air freshener.
Air freshener.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure if you ask
me... Does it smell like beer?
It didn't specify.
Because that's kind of pointless.
I'm sure if you ask my kids, they will say that, yes, Daddy needs air freshener and a hat. And that is for $49, which... Yeah. And they had another one, which the Backyard Bear Pack, which is the above pack with air freshener, but they throw in some stickers and a bar mat for an extra $50.
An extra $50 for stickers.
$99 for 4 pack of Larry Ale, stubby holder, air freshener, hat, and some stickers and a bar mat.
Is that a gold-plated bar mat?
I believe it's made out of rubber.
Cool. Does the bar mat pour the beers for you?
Well, if you spill the beer in the bar mat and pour it back into your glass, I mean, technically...
$50. I'd want it to go to the fridge, open the beer and bring it to you.
Yeah, it's... I mean, when you look at that, I started looking at the Range Brewing Pack, the 12 440ml cans. That's starting to look really good value. And they're throwing a hat with that as well. So, yes, as your original point there, Anthony, must do better next year.
Yeah, 100%. They're disappointing.
And so we move on to beer number 2 in Show and Tell. Now, this one is, I've been looking forward to this one all week, and I've got to prepare something for you.
So this is the Rust Picks.
This is Rust Picks. It's going to be something a bit more flavoursome. All right. Now, my beer's going to make a grand entrance here. Let's go. All right, here it comes. Look at that. We have here, it's right at the table now, so let's...
Let's halt the music. If Russ can work out.
I never worked out how to stop this thing. There it goes. All right. So
how can you stop the dark force?
There it goes. He has arrived. This is from Dainton Brewery, Dark Lord Imperial Stout, complete with Darth Vader livery on there. And so let me just quickly open this up. There you go. It even makes a lightsaber sound when you open it. It's amazing. Right, let's start the pour here.
You put a lot of effort into this one, mate.
Oh, dropped, spilled a bit. See, it's lightsaber beer. All right, I had a bit too much fun with that, I must admit.
That's some great colour for a stout. It
look
is
at that.
Black as night.
I forget.
To give you an idea, Russ is wearing a black t-shirt, and I think the beer is darker than Russ's t-shirt.
That is black as anything. The head on that one's that lovely...
It's that caramelly...
Yeah, it's a toffee caramelly kind of head to it. It really looks fantastic.
It's definitely not clean. It'd be like going for...
the aroma of that's just fantastic. It's got that roasty, toasty thing that I love. It's dark and menacing. Yeah.
Can smell the booze.
Mm-hmm.
Can smell the booze in it. Can smell that sort of dark bitterness. There's a lot going on there.
There is. It's pretty intense. I like that. It's very full on. Or as Han would say.
Hello, what have we here?
That's not Han. That's what's his name? It's Lando Calrissian.
Yes. Sorry. Funnily enough, it keeps some great lacing on the glass. It shows how thick that beer is.
Oh, it is a thick beer. It is not for the faint-hearted. If you are a big, bold, stout-loving person like myself, you will love this. It's got that bitter dark chocolate. Like, I'm not talking about your entry-level dark chocolate. This is like the 87% dark Ghana kind of chocolate you get. It's got that real sort of earthy darkness to it, and I really like it. You want to top up there?
It is more the chocolatey taste to it rather than the burnt coffee sort of flavour. Which does work better for me. I do hate the stouts where it's just that burnt roasted.
I wouldn't describe it as a smooth stout. It's not an entry level beer.
No.
Let's be honest. If this is your first time drinking a dark beer, don't go the Dark Lord Fried Dainton. But
no, definitely
not to say it's a bad beer. It's just it's harsh on the palate. But
and you do get a little bit of that boozy burn from it.
It's very boozy actually. Between Mr. Combat Wombat, what was that? That was like 7% or something, wasn't it? 6.7% of that.
So, and we're now at 10%.
10% for this one.
With the Daintons.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a hefty punch being thrown there.
Yes. Well, to give that a rating, I'll give it out of 10. Too quick. No, I'll give the site 8 out of 10. I think. I know you're not a stout drinker, so I'm expecting a lower score.
I'm not a stout drinker. Now, it does have a good mouthfeel.
It's full in the mouth.
And it's not too harsh. It's probably a little bit. I would say almost that milk stout creaminess to it. It's not quite, but as close to it as you can get. And that's probably just the thickness of that head on here.
I know we keep saying about it. It's a very thick beer. It's makes an impression. The lace glass is
even halfway through, and that's still been sitting the glass for ages and swirl, and it just laces that glass and sticks there. Like that's if you were drinking a red wine and it was doing that, you'd be over the moon.
I think if I was drinking red wine and had a head on, I'd be asking some questions, to be honest with you.
If it laced the glass.
First being, why does my red wine have head on it? But
we worry about the person pouring that, but the lacing of the glass I'm talking about.
fair enough.
It's funny, I don't think it's as smooth a stout as I prefer, so I'd probably...
It does remind me a little bit of The Old Little Creatures. One of my favourite beers ever is Return of the Dread.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that. It's nowhere near as good as that. That beer
No, that was an exceptional one.
That's an exceptional beer. And it's hitting that. Yeah, 8 might be a bit of a high score, actually. I'll give it a 7. I need some room to move, I think. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's not a bad.
No, funnily enough, I'll give it a 6, which is a better rating than the Combat Wombat.
So, let's go through some of the new releases. Either coming out or recently come out from various breweries around the country. So, first one up that caught my attention was from Modus Operandi, and it is an apricot and coconut milkshake.
I'm intrigued. I still haven't gotten a quality milkshake.
I was going to say, have you ever had a good milkshake IPA or beer?
However, I've seen a couple out there where I really need to get a hold of them because I've seen some great reviews. There's a peaches and cream one out there, which I think, and don't quote me on this one.
Is it Deeds? I think Deeds of
Deeds. I actually had their blueberry milkshake the other day. That was average at best.
I've had a few 3 Ravens do a range of milkshake ones. They have strawberries and cream, which kind of tastes like strawberries and cream, so points to that. I don't know if that's what I wanted.
Yep.
Actually, I tell you, I forget who it was. There's one in the same GABS pack that had the Sandboy salt and vinegar beer. Also had a nitro strawberries and cream beer in that one. That one's actually really good. It didn't taste like beer. It tasted like lollies.
There you go.
But yeah, that was all right. That was pretty good. But yeah, the 3 Ravens guys, they always bring out. They have a salted caramel one, which was sickly. They had a choc mint one, which didn't go too well either. But that's just me. I think
I do like 3 Ravens for the fact they have a crack. They do really weird stuff.
They do. Like, there's a blueberry coffee one they did there for a while. I never tried that one.
I've had a couple of theirs and just been quite disappointed as far as the flavour goes, but been impressed by the effort.
Yeah,
and they've drawn me in.
Green Beacon did one last year. Their POG. It was a POG with pineapple, orange, guava for one of their birthdays, and that was okay. I think the problem with that one is very, very fruity, but also very, very creamy. And fruit and creamy doesn't always mix. So
quite right.
It's probably pushing the boundary a bit too much for us old-fashioned types, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the new beer releases, we mentioned it before. Black Hops Flashbang White IPA is a re-release of one of their monthly specials from last year.
I love that beer. It's just...
I had to give it I wasn't that impressed by it last year. I thought it was fine. I didn't rave about it last year, but
you tend not to be big on the wheat beers, the Belgium or even the German wheat beers, but whereas I'm a big fan of that fruity, cloudy, hazy.
All right, now announced yesterday, Range Brewing with 3 beers are probably sold out by 12:05 tomorrow after they release it. One of them has my attention, I tell you. We'll get to that one at the end just to build suspense a little bit. The first one is Low Power Mode. It's a double dry hop IPA called their heftiest dry hop to date. One for the hop lovers, for flavours of melon, mango, and pineapple. Sounds good.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
It sounds like it's going to have that sharp hoppy spice to it. Which...
They had a bigger description, but I didn't want to read that many words.
No.
And they do emphasise it. It's a bit of a flavour punch, that one. So that one could be all right. Range Brewing, their Simple Maths Pale Ale, and it's a certified crusher, a tropical, crisp and refreshing beer. It's not a hazy and not a sour, so it might still be available on Saturday. I wrote there.
Yep. I always worry when someone says tropical, though. It's basically when they can't define a taste, so they call it tropical.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm sure it will be perfectly fine. The one that has my attention, though, is, this might surprise you, actually.
Yeah.
It is called Late Night Snack. It's an Imperial Sour.
Okay.
Right.
Intrigued.
I'll run you. I didn't edit this
I'm
description.
intrigued,
I didn't
yes.
edit this description too much because it sounds fantastic. It is an Imperial Pastry Sour. Late night snack is a beer for when you really want blueberry pancakes, but also really want a beer. I'm sure that's a problem that we've all had at some point in life. It is packed to the brim with blueberry, blackcurrant, vanilla, maple syrup, and lactose. It is creamy, rich, tart, full-bodied, and zingy. The colour is nothing short of insane, pouring a deep purple, shiny light on the truly ridiculous amount of fruit that went into it.
Well, colour me intrigued.
I know, right? I would love to give that a crack at buying some online, but as I said, these guys do fantastic work, and that stuff sells out damn quick. So.
Hopefully they'll have it at the brewery. That could be worth a crack. But
yeah, you had me at blueberry pancakes, I think. All right. Well, next one up, we got Semi-Pro with their Leader Hoppen German IPA for heading up to Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest coming up very soon. Yes.
Is that a collab beer as well? I
think that they got Black Hops on tap there. I don't know whether Black Hops worked on this beer with them. I'm not
reason,
sure.
I thought I saw Black Hops promoting.
Yeah, they got an event there. I think tomorrow, where they've got Black Hops on tap, and they're all doing that. So whether they help, I'm not too sure.
Well, that might have to be a road trip then.
Yep. Later Hoppen is a German IPA featuring Mandarina, Bavaria, Callista, and German Amarillo. Flavors are tangerine with passion fruit, blackberry, and stone fruit. It's an October beer fest with a solid hot punch. There you go. And available on tap in cans from 11th, which will be tomorrow.
There you go.
And one I've included on this just because it's got a good pun. Moondog released Laguna Matata Sour Ale.
I did see that, yes.
Good name, points for the name. Another one here, I don't know whether this will make it up in Brisbane, but this is a great idea, this one. It's from a collab brewery between a local beer and Burnley Brewing. It's their Banana Bread Brown Ale.
Say Burnley or Burley?
Burnley.
Burnley. Okay. Thank you.
Like the football team.
Yes.
But not as boring, probably. What makes this interesting is that they have partnered with Second Bite, which take leftover food from restaurants and cafes and stuff and reuse it with, give it to homeless people, those in need, that sort of thing.
So a great thing.
Yep. And so they've taken bananas and sourdough bread and put that towards making a banana bread beer, which I think is a fantastic idea. Have you ever had a banana bread ale?
I haven't had banana bread ale. I have had a lot of banana bread in my life and loved it. So
they used to have a banana bread ale at First Choice, used to sell it, and it was oddly enough, it tasted like banana bread, and it was fantastic. So if that's anything like that, then yeah,
which is odd from First Choice. They have a very standard.
And this is before they've gotten better lately. I have full credit to them, but this is before they had a good range. This is when in the middle of 4X Pale Ale and 2E's Pale Ale, they threw in a banana bread beer somehow. So. And the last ones I've got here is 3 from Revel Brewing, 2 already been released, 1 coming out soon. The one coming out soon is Revel Brewing Revel and Pale Ale. It's a sessionable 3.5% punchy ale, standard stuff.
Still so good one if you're driving.
Yep, those have got a double dry hop, single hop IPA featuring Zappa hops, which seems to be the new trendy hop going around at the moment.
Yeah.
I had a Pirate Life last week with Zappa hops, and the aftertaste tastes like pickles. So I don't know what's going on.
I haven't jagged a good Zappa yet.
Yeah, not to say that this one's going to taste like pickles at all. They do pretty good beers over there at the moment. They're pushing some boundaries as well,
which is good.
Yeah. And the other one, which is it could be like my beer of the year. I think it's fantastic. Is the Revel Brewing Mango Macadamia Weiss Sour.
You've tried that one. I've got it sitting in the fridge.
You haven't cracked it yet.
No, I haven't cracked it yet.
I'd say it is absolutely fantastic. It is exactly what it says on the can. It tastes like macadamia. It tastes like mango. It tastes like a Weiss bar.
That's my Friday night beer.
Don't drink it after having the Dark Lord from Dainton, because you won't be able to taste much. You could have a kebab after this beer and not be able to taste it. It's that thick. But no, the Mango Macadamia is just superb. They've done an absolutely cracking job over at Revel.
I will be watching Friday Night Football, drinking that, and just loving it.
Up until probably the last couple of months, I barely touched Revel Brewing at all. But they've just done a few things lately that have caught my attention.
Weirdly, in their core range, their summer ale, really light, really fruity, really crisp beer.
Yep.
Light alcohol, great beer if you're having a session.
Yeah, perfect.
It's just one of those beers, core range, simple, just one you can sit there and drink and drink and drink.
The other one I mentioned as well is Bolter Brewing, one of my old favourites, even though they're now brought out by Asahi. Asahi Carlton? Oh, that's what I say now.
They're sold out.
They have, but they made a lot of money off it, so hey, who can blame them?
If I was in the same boat, I'd be selling out.
If Asahi came up and tried to buy our podcast off us, then hey, good luck
we
to you.
retire. Yeah.
Cha-ching. But yeah, their hazy is now part of their core range in their 375ml can, which I kind of miss the old 440ml cans.
I do miss the 440 because that is a cracking beer. It is, again, a good sessionable beer.
I used to like that. And then they brought out the Daisy, the double hazy.
Yeah.
That is a stone cold slammer, that one. I love it. So that's the end of the news. Let's have a look at the beers of the week. Have any beers you want to give a shout out to you tried in the last week or so?
I did try something very interesting the other day, and it was from Nomad. It was their cherry and coconut stout. Now, think if you mixed a cherry ripe and a bounty and made it a drink.
Could you actually taste the cherry and coconut?
Yes.
I've come across a few of these cherry, coconutty sort of like stouts, and normally all you can taste is a hint of coconut. That's about it.
No, very clear. It was sort of cherry hit, coconut finish. Now, it walked a very fine line of being too sweet. Now, the good reference to too sweet was the Golden Gay Time.
That's way too sweet.
Yes.
Even for me with the sweet. Once the only one I'll try is the Mega Golden Gay Time, so I don't know that's...
See, I had the standing Golden Gay Time, and it was in the can, and it was still too sweet.
Yeah.
What I would say about the Nomad would be put it in a standard can, not the 440ml can. The 440 pushed it a bit too far, but it was intriguing.
So if you like that, you should give the Coconut Banger by Little Creatures a go.
Okay.
Again, it's got the coconutty sort of flavour to it. Very easy drinking as a wheat cracker as well. So.
Yeah. The other one, I still don't know whether I like it or don't like it, is Tequila Queen from Counterculture.
I did have that. I like it.
It's intriguing because there's moments where I loved it, moments where I didn't like it, and then the next sip I loved, and it was just...
It does pose the question, though, yes, it's tasty, but does it taste like beer?
Yeah, and I think I mentioned to you, I tasted a lot of that lime cordial taste. Yeah. But that was after you got halfway through it.
See, I hate lime cordial, but I didn't get a lime cordial. It tasted like proper lime, and yeah, I thought that was a surprising beer. I was surprised I liked it as much as I did.
Yeah.
I've got to give it. Stone Wood, their Counterculture series, like they push some boundaries. It doesn't always work. Did you? The Lucozade tasting one, the Orange Invigorate, when they came out. So yeah, that was
horrific.
Yeah, it was a bit of a train wreck, but hey, it did what they were set out to do. Like it tasted like Lucozade in the form of a beer.
But then you go back to their Sticky Nectar. That's still one of the best beers.
That's one of the best mango-y kind of beers I've had until Revel released their mango-wheeze.
Well, I look forward to that.
For me, my beer of the week, I mentioned it a little bit before, a little bang with their Foreign Extra Stout. That was just an absolute cracker. It was simple. There was nothing added to it. It's just a really good stout, done well. It was a bit roasty, kind of toasty, smooth as... It was almost just as smooth as like a Your Handsome Elvis, stuff like that, but had enough flavour to carry through. It's just... an absolute crack of a beer. Like I only brought one, and I really regret that. I need to find that again somewhere because that was a wee little ripper.
That is the only battle when you go in and get a mixed 4-pack or a mixed 6-pack, and you go, I want to try a whole bunch of different ones. Mm-hmm. You get that cracker in there, and then you can't find it again.
Yeah. The worst thing is when you get a 4-pack of something and it turns out to be shit.
Well,
and then you're stuck with 4, and I always drink it.
Yep.
One that comes to mind, that I had that goddamn 4 Pines Pavlova Nitro Ale, which is just terrible. I put it on the Instagram a while back, but it's like a Pavlova if your nan forgot to make Pavlova and didn't put any fruit on it. Like it's supposed to be nitro, it's supposed to be fruity, it's supposed to be creamy, and this damn thing flat as anything,
Nothing.
had no fruit, had no creaminess, and it just tasted like wetness. I haven't got any more beer news to discuss. You got anything beer-wise you want to bring up?
I don't. So I think from now we'll actually go to our venue review, which will actually be our Where's Was It segment.
Where is Was It this week?
Hey guys, this week on Where's Was It, I'm out at Newstead Brewing in Milton in Brisbane. And look, first of all, I'm going to start on the beers. So I did try a handful of beers while I was there. The best were the dark beers in my experience, and the pick of the day was the Zoo 6.1. Plenty of flavour. It was a brilliant beer. Overall, really impressed with that one. Overall, I'd rate the beers that I experienced on the day a 7 out of 10. Next, in terms of the service, I'm probably going to be a little bit harsh here, but I'm actually going to rate them a 5 out of 10. They were friendly and polite, but they lacked interest in talking about the beers and talking about what they did. There was no real enthusiasm in the product that they were selling. It all felt very mechanical. And look, I might have gone on a bad day. I might have had a bad experience. It is in the height of COVID-19, so who knows? All the good staff might still be on JobKeeper and sitting at home. But overall, it wasn't great. It wasn't a great experience. Next, in terms of the vibe, I rated the place a 6 out of 10. It was good. It was a good fit out. It felt inviting. There wasn't any entertainment though on the day. I did go on a Saturday during the day, so that might have something to do with it, but probably could have been better. In terms of the location there in Milton, it was really easy to get to. Just off the ICB, so not hard at all. There's plenty of street parking. It's not far from the city, so it's an easy trip out if you're close by. The only thing I'd say is it is right near the stadium there, Suncorp Stadium, so don't go on game day. Otherwise, you're not going to get in the door. You're not going to get a car park. It's just going to be a nightmare. Next off, we did try the food out. I was really quite impressed with the food. There's a good selection there, and it is your typical bar food: burgers, pizzas. A few mains and some little snacks. Overall, the meals were brilliant though. Really good selection. The flavour was good. Really enjoyed the food that I had there. I'm going to rate that an 8 out of 10. And look, overall, I was... I'm probably grading it a little bit harsh. The beers were good. I think Newstead Brewing has a good name out there. I've tried some of their stuff outside of the bar, and I've been quite impressed. So I could have just gone on a bad day, but overall I'm rating it a 6 out of 10. I'd definitely go back there, but I've definitely experienced better as well. I am going to try going back after COVID-19 because I think that may have played a part, and I'd like to retry. One thing to note also, guys, is there is another Newstead Brewing bar in Newstead, funnily enough. So I might try my luck there and see if I have any more luck. But that's all for me. Thanks, guys. That's all for this week on Where's Was It? And tune in soon.
Well, that was Wazza. I've been Russell.
I've been Anthony.
Thank you for joining us on the Pouring Old Men podcast. Hope to hear from you.
Yeah.
Hope to talk to you soon.
We'll reach out to us on our socials.
We'll have the outro sorted out by the next time. I promise.